Hello and welcome to GamerTag. I'm your host, Dean Weir. Coming up in today's show, we'll be speaking to a man whose passion is to bring people together from all walks of life. We will also be speaking with our two on-the-road reporters who recently visited the Game Dev event in London. After seeing what they've got up to, we will be speaking with a YouTuber called Brad from Bristol, who's been making videos since 2013. Finally, we visit Luton's Mall to have a VR experience called The Prism to investigate what many say is the future of gaming. But for now, sit back, relax, and prepare to get transported into the world of gaming. And with that, let's start the show. Don't worry if you're not with us in the studio today. You can still interact with us if you're at home. Please leave us any comments on our Facebook and Twitter with the hashtag GamerTag. We'll be reading any comments at the end of the show. Now, have you ever wondered what actually goes on at a games dev event? Have you ever thought about how to go about becoming a game developer? What journeys they've traveled? Well, we have sent our two on-the-road reporters, Bruno and Ronnie, to the Game Dev Show and Tell in London. Let's venture forth and get an inside scoop on what goes on.
I'm Bruno.
And I'm Ronnie.
And this is Bruno and Ronnie for GamerTag.
Today we are in a Game Dev Show and Tell event who unites everyone who enjoys gaming and new technologies.
So strap up, take a seat, and get ready for a journey through the world of gaming. Dan, thank you so much for joining us. You are organizing today's event. What do you feel like makes these events attractive for people?
The reason why we create this event was to give people who wanted some more in-depth information about how games work, how the industry works, to be in the same room. Normally we have this kind of events when you get pros coming together and then working or keeping the secrets, the professional secrets. What we want here is to get a professional that works for 20 years in the industry and a kid who just wants to start create his first game to come together and to share information.
If you could describe today's event in 3 words, which words would you pick?
All right. So the event today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Game Dev Show and Tell.
All right. So definitely information, like to get to know a little more about this industry. Unity, like not the game engine, but like to get together. To get together, which I strongly believe in, like to share knowledge and to share experiences, to share contacts and networking. And fun, I mean, because we're gonna play some games and we're gonna have fun.
Every gamer surely once dreamed of entering the world of their favorite video games. It would definitely be something amazing and inspiring. Let's ask them what virtual world they would like to visit the most.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm Italian, but Mario Universe, I think it's one of the best. Yeah, it's old age, but I think it's one of the best. Yeah, the princess and all the animals, and it's fun.
When we get speakers here, I always ask them, can you share what is this game experience that like shaped you, they make you a gamer? And mine is Final Fantasy VII. So I wasn't a young adult and I was playing in the universe and the way they build the universe is great.
First gaming world that comes to mind would be Zelda, but it's a bit of a dangerous world, so I don't know. I think I'd want something easier to start with, but Zelda, yeah, just beautiful landscapes and magical creatures. I'm all for it.
How amazing was this event?
I know, right? It was fantastic. It helped me learn so much about the gaming community, especially stuff that I didn't know.
We've met so many great, inspiring people.
And it helped us like just learn how the gaming community is developing nowadays. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and now we're gonna get back to the studio.
Bye!
Bye!
Speak of the devils, here in the studio are the duo themselves, Bruno and Ronnie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
No problem at all. Well, the first thing I would like to ask is about this Games Dev event. What actually is it all about?
Well, it's a very nice gaming event that collects people that wants to create games that are doing sounds and graphics.
Okay, okay. What kind of games was involved at it?
Well, they had quite a lot of new games. I think quintessentially the event was focused on discussion and trying to elaborate a bit on what new games are coming and what everyone is doing. And it was a bit more of a sharing type of event. That's what I thought I saw.
Nice, okay. Yeah. What was the whole experience? Did you learn anything from it? Was there any particular things you would like to mention?
Where I learned that I love food.
don't we
There
all?
was such a good food in there, and I just learned that I love food.
And I think I learned that Weronika is not a gamer.
Ah, right.
No, what I literally learned is Bruno is a really good gamer because he actually went second in this quiz about games.
Okay.
And this room full of gamers, and Bruno went second. So
You
I
got
was really
second?
proud
I
of
think I
him.
got
Yeah.
third.
Well, congrats.
Third.
Well, even still, it's all
Even
right.
still, it's
you
on
know?
podium. Yeah. So.
Wow. Would you go back to the event?
Yes,
absolutely.
definitely.
Class. I might have to go myself sometime.
You should.
See what it's
you should
like.
definitely.
Where is it?
It's in London.
Yeah.
In London?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was hosted by the company as well, which was brilliant to be in.
Yeah.
And they were super nice. So.
Nice. And overall, has the experience inspired you in any way? Maybe not to become a gamer, but even yourself, has it inspired you in any way at all? Apart from the food, we all love food.
I think for us as content creators, being in a place in which we see people talking about having difficulties like moving forward and having problems creating something, it was very beneficial, and it really helped us think that we're not alone, that everyone that's trying to create content is in the same position as we are, struggling to move forward and always trying to reach out for new ideas, you know?
So it was a great social event to go and meet friends and things like that?
Yes.
With similar interests and all?
Well,
oh, wow.
yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Thank you, Dean.
Did you have a good time?
Yes.
Yes, of course. It's always a good time with you, Dean.
No problem at all. Now that we know more about the coding that makes a game developer, let's speak to the organizer and creative director himself, Dan Bernardo from Playtra. Let's find out more about his upcoming game, Sage. Dan, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming on.
That was my pleasure.
So, the first thing I would like to ask, your company, Playtra, could you explain to us what that's all about?
So, Playtra is a game developer startup based in London, and our main mission is to redefine fun. We wanted, as a gamer, since I can remember actually.
Yes, yes.
I loved like looking for new games and new games experiences, and I see so many great ideas. That sometimes start but never finish. And I see people changing and mixing different kinds of games.
Oh, wow,
and what we want to do is to create this kind of new experiences, games that define what, change how you think about the game industry, but also what fun means to each person.
Class. I haven't played games in a long time, but when I did, it was the Nintendo 64 days, you know, Zelda and GoldenEye and all. Can I ask, have you any favorite games?
So I am coming to the game industry now from the tech industry, where I had a 15 years career.
Wow.
So it's a very different path. But the reason why I started in the tech industry was because I want to tell stories.
Right, okay.
And gaming is this prime territory where you can create stories that change people and then can immerse them.
Wow. Like a VR kind of idea?
It's much more about the storytelling, although we really want to work with VR. So my favorite games are always the ones that tell deeper stories. So I'm kind of the RPG, Japanese RPG kind of guy.
Can I please ask, sorry for cutting you off by the way, but what projects are you working on or have you worked on?
Speaking of which, we are going to launch our first game in this Friday.
Okay, really?
The name is called Sage and is a homage to the classic console games, RPG, and strategy games.
You're kidding. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to love those kind of games. That's
We
fantastic.
really want, because Playtra is focused on mobile,
Right.
we want to create the same great experiences the kids had, like in my time.
And my time as well,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
to
yeah,
mobile,
yeah.
because mobile right now is very clickbait, and
Yeah.
we want to create something a bit deeper than that.
Well, that's a very good idea. Yeah. Have you any other interests? Can I ask? Than a game developer, which is great in itself.
Oh my God! Actually, I'm a newcomer in the game developing scene, so I'm still learning. But
Right.
I've been creative director, I've been designer and
Mhm.
writer, and like I'm just trying to dip in everything.
Yeah, that sounds very good.
But games are definitely my passion.
Can I ask, like, what is your plans for the future with this here then?
So, Plato is actually looking for, when I say young, it's any age young.
Yeah.
Passionate people who want to bring new ideas. So
Mhm.
we are finishing. We are working this game right now and starting another 2 games
Wow.
quite soon. Our hope is in 3 or 4 years, have 5 or 6
Yeah.
mid core games
Right. Okay.
out there. So it's much less about your casual games. It's about the game experience that tells the story.
Is it possible to elaborate on the kind of games you're going to be?
So right now we are working on game. The nickname, the project name right now is Exodus.
Right. Okay.
And is how can I explain this? It's a mix of Pokemon Go
I see.
with chess
Right.
with Meat Boy.
It sounds quite the combination, man. Well, I wish you all the best with it, and it was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much.
No problem at
Thank
all. Well, guys, look out for that coming soon on Android and iOS. Unless you've spent the last decade in a vault, you're bound to know of YouTube, the site where you can post a video of just about anything and make millions. Yes, I'm looking at you vloggers. Let's talk about the gaming side, the Let's Players, the guys digging for diamonds, to walking around New Hanover, running and gunning every NPC in sight. Next, we'll be speaking with Brad Ham, otherwise known as BTD, a Let's Play YouTuber from Bristol, who's been part of the YouTube creators community for over 5 years. Hello, welcome.
Nice! I'm blocked! Run! That is what I'm talking about. Find out when you watch the video.
So, welcome to the show.
How is it going?
Yeah, not too bad, thank
Brilliant.
you. Could you please, I really want to hear about this gaming YouTuber experience. Could you please tell us what that's all about?
I mean, with YouTube and gaming, it's very common.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very common. But the thing is with gaming and YouTubers is you're always going to get a different type of commentary.
Okay.
And I think that's what really attracts people to YouTube gaming.
Yeah.
Because you could have someone upload, say, the same game. Two different people upload the same game.
Right,
But you
right.
watch it for that person.
Ah,
You know,
okay.
it's a commentary, it's the experience. You watch it because it's your favorite person playing it.
Right, I see,
And that's the people you sort of stick with.
Oh,
So
class.
it's about finding that niche.
Uh-huh.
And I hope I found my niche.
Well, okay, well, what exactly got you into this, all this?
I mean, growing up, creativity was definitely something that was on my mind throughout my entire history of
Me
school.
too, I love
You know,
that, yeah.
creating things, you think of an idea and you think, oh, I want to make that. So rather than just have ideas, I wanted to start making the effort to do something with it.
Oh,
And that's
gosh.
obviously when I went into video editing. I started out really basic, so Windows Movie Maker.
Yes,
Built-in
okay.
bit of kit, everyone's probably used it back in the day.
Right, yeah.
And the more I started using that, the more I wanted to personally develop my skills on editing. And it just went from there. And I thought, how can I show this to everyone else? That's when YouTube got involved.
Yeah.
And that's essentially where my journey started. I just started to record myself playing video games. And that was the creation of the channel.
I would see when in my day, like I said, my day years ago when this here bad boy was the greatest thing. Like I would have loved to have someone like you on YouTube. I don't even think YouTube existed then.
Not back then, I don't think. No.
But like, can I ask, what is your favorite game and why?
Okay, so straight off the bat, Portal 2. Portal 2 was my thing.
Wow.
I knew pretty much everything about it. I knew the script, the voice actors, every line that they said at what cue. I was a full-on nerd when it came to Portal 2.
Nice.
Because it was all about puzzles and things like that. But what's great about it is as you're sort of solving these puzzles, you're also unlocking a story at the same time. It turns out that the story is a little bit deeper and darker than what initially is perceived to be a basic puzzle game.
I see that.
So, and I clinged on to that because that was very interesting to me, and I just played it ever since. 2011 that came out.
Wow.
And I'm still playing it.
You really sound like you know your stuff anyway.
Yeah, no, I try to.
Can I ask, like, how do you fit all this in with a full-time job and all balance?
It's extremely difficult. Oh my God, trust me. Okay, so working full-time, obviously I have to live.
Yeah,
I have to pay the bills. So working full-time whilst maintaining a YouTube channel is extremely difficult.
Right.
I get 2 days off a week, which is Monday and Tuesday. Now, Tuesday is the day that everyone's home, so that's completely out of the question, which leads me down to Monday.
Right.
So I literally blitz an entire week's worth of videos in one day.
You're kidding me.
Exactly, and then
must be good.
it's very full on.
Yeah.
You have to have a structure.
Wow.
Because so every video that I want to make, I write down, because otherwise, if I just hit record, I'm just gonna sit there and be like, well, what am I doing? So if I have a structure, I'll be fine. Ideas is definitely a thing, but I've got someone in the background who I greatly appreciate, who helps me with some of the ideas that I come up with. And in fact, part of the reason why my channel is what it is today is because of that person. Wow. But yeah, it is fairly difficult. So I record it all in one day, which is Monday, and then every time I come home from work, I edit the entire night.
That's fantastic. It sounds like a very sophisticated yet exciting process.
You have to completely forget about your social life in order to maintain it. But yeah, no, I enjoy doing it. It makes me happy.
Wow, well, that was, I wish I could hear more, but I was delighted to have you on the show.
Yeah, no, not a problem at all. Fantastic. I like this, by the way. That's good.
That's cool, isn't it? Now, let's talk about gaming news. We're all probably sick of hearing it, but God of War won Game of the Year to no surprise. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has had smashing reviews this week. Lastly, the ever-popular Borderlands gets a makeover in virtual reality, being released on the 14th of December. Speaking of VR, our crew went out to Luton Mall to have a go.
I'm about to do VR experience at We Play VR at Luton Mall. I'm very excited and very stressed. I'm not a gamer, so let's see how I'll do. But then again, they put me in this elevator, so I closed my eyes and I was like, I can do it. I hate elevators, but I can do it. And then I ended up on this platform and there was quiet, there was no one around me. And if you look down, there was like much down. You couldn't see like where the floor is. And I freaked out and my legs started shaking. And I knew that I had to stop because if I went further and further, I would have a panic attack. And I was like, that's it. But overall, it was so good. I do recommend it though, like for a 1-2 minute thing. Just to see how it feels like. I do recommend it, but more and more and more. Unless you have like motion sickness or something like that, I don't recommend it. We were finished on the way home, and then my lovely crew decided that they loved it so much that they want to do it too. Let's see how they will do. I just did a We Play VR at Luton at the mall, and it was an experience. Beginning was very cool. I did some shootings and there were aliens and everything was going great. But then they put me on this elevator and I was going up and I freaked out because I was in the platform and there was no one around me and I had to like push buttons and there was so much quiet and my legs started shaking and I had to put my razor. I was like, I'm done with this game. But overall it was so good. But if you have anxiety or motion sickness, I don't really recommend it. But if you are up for an adventure, I do recommend it. It was so much fun. And yeah, We Play VR at Luton. Come check it out.
Definitely going to be asking Santa for that this Christmas. Now, let's look at what you've been saying online with the hashtag GamerTag. Sims Forever says, "Oh, Brad is so cool. He has gained a new sub from me." Thank you. And finally, Gaza says, as an inspiring games developer, Dan is his inspiration. Well, thank you very much. And sadly, it's time to log off. A big thank you to all our wonderful studio guests, Dan and Brad, and also to our lovely reporters, Bruno and Ronnie. Thank you to all those watching at home. We hope you've learnt a thing or two about gaming. Don't worry though, we'll be back next week for our Christmas special, where we will be going to Comic-Con, taking part in the Smash Bros. Championship, and lastly, interviewing EA about their new Sims 4 expansion. But for now, it's time for me to go. Catch you online sometime.